Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Let's just dive right in, shall we? Today we're giving you an exclusive behind-the-scenes look into how we approach a truly powerful yoga tradition right here at our Aud Mitha studio in Dubai. We're talking about Ashtanga Vinyasa. Whether you're literally just stepping onto the mat for the first time, or you're looking to deepen a practice you already have, this is all about understanding what we do here at Pratimoksha and, ultimately, helping you find your own unique path. You know, the absolute most common question we hear from curious beginners walking through our doors is simply, is it too hard? Like, am I actually ready for this? And honestly, the question underneath that question is usually just a fear of the unknown. So today, we're going to unpack that hesitation together. We want to give you a super clear, totally honest picture of what it's really like to practice with us. And look, it's completely understandable to feel that hesitation, right? Because there are some pretty intimidating buzzwords floating around out there about Ashtanga's reputation. Words like demanding, rigid, or the classic, strictly not for beginners. In our experience, people usually hear the rumors about this practice way before they ever set foot in a studio. And while we definitely acknowledge those terms, because yes, the practice is challenging, we really want to gently dismantle the fear behind them. There's actually a beautiful, deeply intentional purpose to what might look like rigidity from the outside. That purpose? Well, you'll find it right in the word vinyasa. It refers to this incredibly precise system of linking your breath with your movement. Every single transition you make is governed by a specific inhale or exhale. The sequence is fixed, your breath count is fixed, even your gaze points are fixed. But here's the kicker. This isn't rigidity just for the sake of being strict. As our founder, Lalitha Viswanath, often emphasizes, it's a framework that is so mathematically precise, it essentially strips away all the external variables. All that's left? Your own deeply focused attention. Now, traditionally, Ashtanga is organized into 6 increasingly demanding series. But wait, do not let that number intimidate you. As we teach at Pratimoksha, the vast majority of practitioners spent years, honestly, sometimes their entire yoga journey, focusing solely on the primary series. And let me be super clear about this. That is absolutely not a consolation prize. No way. The primary series alone is a complete, physically demanding, and internally complex practice. It gives you more than enough depth for a lifetime of really meaningful work. So what actually happens when you step into the studio for that primary series? Well, there's a really comforting, consistent arc to a typical session, which usually runs anywhere from 75 to 120 minutes, completely depending on your own pace. It always kicks off with an opening chant and Surya Namaskara. Those are your sun salutations to build up internal heat and lock in that breathing rhythm. Then we move right into the standing sequence for balance and strength. After that comes the seated sequence for those deeper folds and twists. And finally, the finishing sequence brings your nervous system right back down before you rest in Savasana. The beauty is you always know exactly where you're going. Now, how we actually teach this might be a bit different from the standard fitness classes you're probably used to around Dubai. In a typical class, an instructor's up front leading the whole group at one uniform pace, right? But with the authentic Mysore method that we probably use, it's completely different. You memorize the sequence and practice at your own individual pace, but in a shared room. Our teachers aren't up there shouting out instructions to a crowd. Instead, they're moving between students, offering highly personalized adjustments based entirely on what they see happening in your body in that exact moment. It really builds this amazing sense of self-reliance. And you know what? The science absolutely backs up the transformations we witness in our studio every single day. Take a look at this 2019 study published in Complementary Therapies in Medicine. After just 12 weeks of regular Ashtanga practice, working adults, and we're talking about busy professionals here, not elite athletes, saw massive reductions in their perceived stress, their sleep quality noticeably improved, and they had highly measurable gains in both upper and lower body strength. It's basically a complete, comprehensive reset for your mind and your body. But here's the thing, what a clinical study can't fully quantify is this profound truth we see day in and day out. When the body memorizes the sequence, the mind stops thinking. Seriously, it's this deep mental stillness that arrives when you finally internalize the practice. You don't have to worry or anticipate what comes next anymore. Your body just knows. And because of that, your mind gets permission to completely quiet down. All that intense physical exertion literally transforms into a moving meditation. Of course, we always want to keep it 100% real with our students about the physical side of things. Ashtanga definitely asks a lot of the body. You'll be working on deep forward folds that require some serious hamstring length, bound twists that demand both shoulder and hip mobility at the same time, and dynamic jump-throughs that take real strength and coordination. The big takeaway here? None of these abilities arrive overnight. They just don't. They are built steadily and very patiently over time with consistent practice. Which brings us to a really beautiful guiding philosophy from our founder. The practice meets you where you are, but it does not lower its standards to accommodate impatience. Lalita Viswanath established this core principle for us, and honestly, it perfectly captures our whole teaching approach. If you go in expecting rapid, overnight progress, you're probably going to end up frustrated. But if you approach the mat as a long-term study, where the sequence itself is actually your teacher, you're going to find that your body opens up steadily and, most importantly, safely. And let me tell you, the expertise backing up that philosophy is massive. Lalitha brings over 19 years of dedicated yoga teaching experience to Pratimoksha. Ever since we opened our doors back in 2016, that incredible depth of knowledge has let us cultivate a truly expert, safe, and super nurturing environment. When you practice with us, you're in the hands of seasoned professionals who deeply understand the complex mechanics of the body and the subtle little nuances of the breath. Speaking of safety, let's tackle another super common and totally valid concern. What if you're dealing with an existing injury or some kind of physical restriction? Well, if you're navigating that, please know you are still absolutely welcome here at Pratimoksha. For those specific situations, we offer targeted yoga therapy or individualized hatha-based programs. Basically, we'll work with you to build a really solid, safe foundation first. And then we can always introduce Ashtanga down the road when your body is truly ready and resilient. All right, let's pull all of this together and see if this is actually your path. Ashtanga Vinyasa is going to be absolutely perfect for you if you want a consistent, repeatable practice that you can eventually take with you anywhere in the world. It's for you if you find clear structure motivating rather than restricting, and if you genuinely love repeating sequences until you've truly mastered them. You really just need a basic physical baseline, or at least the patience to build one, and a personality that thrives on progressive challenges. So are you ready to find your path? If you're curious whether Ashtanga Vinyasa is the right fit, the single best thing you can do is stop wondering from the outside and just come try it out. We'd love to warmly invite you to book a trial session at our Mitha studio. Just bring an open mind, realistic expectations, and come experience the supportive environment we've built. We're here to guide you every step of the way, and we genuinely can't wait to see you on the mat. Because at the end of the day, you really have to ask yourself, what might you actually discover about your own mind when your body finally stops worrying about what comes next?